Welcome back to Ringer Tailgate, the Wednesday edition. We are here to talk CFP committee rankings. We're going to have reactions. We're going to have questions. We're going to have fraud alerts. And we're also going to have some fun with Billy Gill on the back end of the show. We're going to, tease that at the top because a lot of people are very excited to have Billy Gill in the mix. But first and foremost, let's say what's up to our guys. Van Lathan with the metal bat. What's up, Van?
What's going on? What's going on? Aluminum. Okay, we're here because we have to have aluminum resolve after the chaos that's happening right now in college football.
Yeah, we got composite bats. We got composite rankings that we're going to talk about. The committee is obviously very nimble and reactionary based on the rankings this week. Miami might be back, Joel. We kind of buried them last week, but your thoughts on potentially the Hurricanes coming back? And before you get into that, let's just say what's up. How you doing on this Wednesday afternoon?
I'm good, man. I was shocked that we had a national holiday yesterday. Like, again, my father is a veteran. He served in Vietnam, and he's currently in a veterans home down there in the H-Town area. Shout out to vets. But I don't know about y'all. It just didn't seem like it was well publicized. So yesterday I was scrambling all day, bro. So I'm happy. I feel free today. Like I get to have fun and be at work and watch football and talk football today.
Yeah, I saw you tell somebody about the legacy of your father, and I didn't realize this, man. Purple Heart served his country. Mm-hmm. I appreciate his service, man. That's amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. My father doesn't talk about it. He was like, son, he told me the other day, I was like, y'all gonna be doing anything at the house, at the nursing home? He was like, man, black people don't really care that much about this holiday, son. I was like, well, I don't know if that's true, but I was like, the origins of Memorial Day. And he said, yeah, but this is different. I was like, okay. So I guess they didn't. He's mad about the food at his veterans home. So I think that's just that. Maybe
that's the message we send out. Let's get better food down there for our veterans.
Man, we should send them some food. We should send them some good barbecue plates or something, man.
Where's he living at?
It's just outside the Houston area. Kind of near Pearland. Mm-hmm.
Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send them something to eat, and I'm serious about it. I'm gonna send them some of the best barbecue that there's around because I actually do really appreciate, shout out to my Uncle Charles and all the other veterans in my family, what the veterans do for us and what it means to put something else in front of you, like your country. So I appreciate your dad. Not only that, I'm gonna send them something else. I'm gonna send them something to do after he eats or maybe before. So I know that what?
What do you just go ahead and say what it is then?
No, it's a special gift from me. Like it's
definitely gonna be the foot doctor.
Yeah.
Hey man, hey, let's not talk. Don't talk about
inside joke.
I have a headache. You say that gave me a headache. Move along.
Yes.
Like Frias did. When Van was trying to press him earlier about knowing a song, he said, let's get going.
Yeah, let's get going. Let's flip forward.
But also, I apprate your generosity.
Yeah. Van's taking care of the vets. Shout out to all the veterans. My grandparents, both vets as well, back in World War II. So, look at us, our whole podcast. We got family members who are all
Wait a
vets,
minute. Okay, before we move on, we got to stay on this one more second. So, your grandparents they're veterans of World War II. They were
Battle of the Bulge and Iwo Jima. Yeah.
Wow. Oh shit. They lucky.
They were in the middle of it, man. God
damn. Hold on for it. Tate, it's a miracle you're here. Like
straight up.
Yeah, man.
No.
Yeah.
I'm being fucking for real. Wow. That's really, really. I was about to make a Tar Heel the Essence joke, but you can't. Was that one of your grandparents help hold up the flag?
Yeah, that was we watched. Yeah. That was my grandpa. I don't know if he was like one of the ones holding up the flag, but yeah, he was in Iwo Jima. Mm-hmm.
I will say this just real quick. It would be difficult for me to have gone to Iwo Jima and then not been one of the people. Imagine if you wanted to be one of the guys that was holding up the flag, and then somebody else ran and beat you to it, and then they are holding up the flag forever, and you're like, hey, yo, I was there too. I could have been holding up the flag. So if I was ever to, is your grandfather still with us?
No, both passed away.
Both passed away. They're gone to glory.
But World War II, man.
No, Captain America's still alive. But if I was talking to him, I would ask him. That's what I would ask him about. I'd ask him, hey man, could you see them holding up the flag, and did you run over there to maybe help out to hold up the flag. But that's really, really impressive. Two battles, like two different. That's Tate. You're a real American, bro. You really are.
It's North
Frazier
Carolina.
family.
We got a lot of military influence. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
we're
That's
everywhere.
right.
This is Ringer Tailgate presented by FanDuel, and college football Saturdays are heating up. Whether you're in it for the early kick or the late night action, FanDuel lets you bet your way with same game parlays, live betting, game props, and more. And Missouri, get excited because FanDuel's coming your way December 1st. Download the app and head to fanduel.com/tailgate and make every Saturday count. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Let's get into college football. We got some reactions to get to. One big reaction, CFP rankings came out. This is week 2. Obviously, like we said, a very fluid situation. Teams moving up and down. Texas Tech probably the biggest winner of the weekend after beating BYU. But Van, I go to you first. One big reaction from the CFP rankings. Anything that we learned this week?
Bullying works. Miami is now in the CFP. They look like they're there. Like, how on God's green earth did Miami jump up that far? They now are there. They have a shot. What was so different between last week and this week? You start to wonder if fluctuations like that damage the credibility of the committee.
Style points is what they said. They said Miami looked better in their win. They had an offensive lineman score a touchdown. So I guess style points really matter with the committee.
Do you buy that?
No.
That sounds like horseshit. That sounds like a bunch of people were outraged at the fact that Notre Dame was in the playoff. Miami wasn't. Miami beat Notre Dame. And then the committee members, rather than come out and say, this is the metric that we use and this is where we are and this is how we see it, buckled to that pressure and then put Miami in because they realized they had fucked up. You wonder if they're taking this shit serious. I'm being for real here. I know I joke a lot, but when I saw this, I was like, wait a minute. If they were bold enough to come out with having them in that spot, then they should have been consistent enough in some way to stick to that, barring some really, really seismic change in college football, which did not happen last week.
Well, I mean, it wasn't that large of a jump. I mean, it went from 18 to 15, and 2 people lost ahead of them. So they lost, Louisville lost, and Virginia lost. So that explains those 2, like, right? They can go ahead of those. I mean, although it makes it difficult because, again, Miami lost to Louisville, but we also have to have some sort of context to head-to-head matchups, right? Like sometimes, it matters when you lose, how you lose, all that other stuff. So I think that probably explains it a little bit, but also, I mean, it does make sense. Like, I mean, that's what we want. We want the committee to be responsive, right? Like yeah, hey, you guys, have you thought about why you had Miami so low and so far away from Notre Dame? And they responded to it. Like, I think that, like, if it's never going to be perfect because it's always people doing it. And, they're getting the, crab dinner or whatever, a big brisket spread there in Dallas. They having a nice little time. Mike Riley's trying to get people to go out and stuff. So they probably are like, oh, shit, man, we totally forgot about that, bro. Let's just move them up a little bit. But that kind of leads to what my thing is that I don't think they shouldn't have to talk to people after they do these ratings anymore, because all it does is piss people off. And so Dan Woken pointed this out. He's over at shout him out, USA Today. No, he's at Yahoo now. My bad. He left USA Today and is now at Yahoo. And he was just talking about how, like, Mack Rhodes had to talk. And so they have Mack Rhodes out there talking to people, talking about how they penalized Vanderbilt for playing against Auburn without its quarterback, right? But then giving Utah credit for its win over Arizona State, and Arizona State didn't have Sam Levitt for its game. So it's stuff like that. Like, it's just like, man, look, we cover this sport. We watch it. We try to follow as closely as possible. Sometimes you're going to make mistakes. Things change on a week-to-week basis. I just feel like people would be less mad if they didn't have to hear this and see this every week. But the problem is that people being mad, getting upset, that is the fuel of college football, man. And so it's good for all of us that do this kind of content and like to talk about it. But in terms of like the integrity of the rankings of finding out how seriously people are taking this stuff, it's like sometimes you're like, oh yeah, man, it's just they're not paying attention sometimes as closely as you would think they would.
I did want to say that Rhodes feels like he's baiting us. He did say this about the ACC. He said, when you look at their non-conference schedule, there really are no signature wins other than Miami versus Notre Dame, which goes back to our amnesia game that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Florida State, Alabama, I guess, never happened now. The committee has wiped that game from our visceral memory. Like that was the only game that he said with the ACC. And if you actually look at it, the ACC, most non-con wins versus current CFP ranked teams. The ACC has 4, the SEC has 2, the Big 12 has 2, the Big 10 has 2, and Notre Dame has 1.
Once again, this is my problem. I personally think right now that Miami is in the playoff. Having them leap over a team that beat them is very interesting. I think when this shakes out, they have a very favorable schedule. They'll end up being into the playoff. Like, the fact that he could say that when Florida State beat Alabama is nuts. Mm-hmm. This entire thing is a woozy. It's a wazi. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to wonder about whether or not these people are keeping a fine eye on the sport. Now, because I have to keep the same energy, I have to ask, I made the same case with Notre Dame, do I overrate head-to-head matchups? Because I think that for Miami to jump in front of Louisville when Louisville beat Miami, I think is horseshit bullshit. And I don't think, especially if you have the same amount of losses, that you should jump a team just because they won or they lost in a week that you won. I don't think that should be like that, particularly if we're talking about the playoff. If we're just talking about an AP poll, which is people's decisions about, and this is where I make a distinction here. The AP poll is just a list of who you think the best teams in the country are in any given week. Mm-hmm. This playoff polling, right, this playoff bracket, this playoff ranking is supposed to be who is supposed to play for the national championship.
The best
Those
12
are two
teams.
different things.
Right.
The two totally different things. And so I don't know, justice for Louisville, justice for Miami over Notre Dame, justice for these teams, especially if they have the same amount of losses.
Well, wait a minute, Tate. Actually, you had it it is not the 12 best teams, because if it was the 12 best teams, we wouldn't be sitting up here talking about, man, is South Florida going to make it, or is it going to be somebody else from the AAC, or James Madison? You know, they're going to finish. They have
a 38% chance, according to ESPN, to make the playoff.
Yeah, man, but but they were talking about Mac Rhodes is like, yeah, we just couldn't get over their strength of schedule thing, and it's just like, you know. That's just how this stuff goes. It's not always about the best teams. It's like sometimes if you won your conference championship, Miami is on the outside looking in for the ACC conference championship game, right? Like, it's going to take some work for them to get in position to play.
A lot of work, yeah.
But don't you think Miami's probably the best team in the ACC? But the champion of the ACC is probably going to go to the playoff. Miami, as a result, probably has less of a chance. Like it's right now. You're looking at it. ACC is theoretically a one-bid league.
They played the games. So
yeah, see, that's the thing. They don't play, because I think, okay, this is another thing that somebody brought up this week, and I was like, it's actually a really good point, because it's just so dumb how we do all this stuff. But so Texas A&M, and I'm going to just shout out my guy Ralph Russo, who used to do the AP poll.
Oh, Ralphie Russo?
Yeah, Ralph Russo, man. That's my dog,
shit.
man. Yeah, man. What's up, New Yorker? You know what I'm saying?
Never heard of him.
Well, see. He used to cover Mississippi football too. Like, he was in Ole Miss, Mississippi State. So he's been in the SEC country. Here's what he says. Texas A&M could make the SEC championship game without playing Ole Miss, Bama, UGA, OU, Vandy. Georgia Tech could make the ACC title game without playing Miami, Louisville, UVA, SMU, Duke. Ohio State can make the Big Ten title game without playing Oregon, Indiana, Iowa, USC. Man, they don't even play. Like, it's just the schedules are so off balance. It's just really tough to know. Like, playing in the conference championship game doesn't necessarily mean you did anything. It might have meant that you won a lot of games, but you avoided all the tough teams in your league. So it's just the way that they're doing it now is kind of weird.
Well, okay, so there's a couple of things I'll say to that. Number one, that's a great observation. But in all seriousness, it does leave out a couple of things. Number one, Texas A&M went on the road and beat Notre Dame. You guys all love Notre Dame so much, okay?
Who's guys? Don't say that. I think
you
I
guys
feel like
all love Notre
Dame.
Dame. You guys all love Notre Dame so much. You would have to give Texas A&M credit for going on the road and beating Notre Dame. Something I also say about Texas A&M is Texas A&M did play LSU at Tiger Stadium. Now, LSU sucks.
Yeah.
However, if you are looking at the schedule before the season, you will not expect LSU to suck. There is a certain degree of fortune that goes into the scheduling, particularly when the schedules are the way they are. Meaning, if there's no SEC East and SEC West, meaning you're not guaranteed to play Alabama, Oregon, Mississippi State, all of those teams. If you're not guaranteed to play them, then there's a lot more back and forth or uncertainty about which teams are going to be good in which year, right? So if you're A&M, it used to be that maybe some of these teams you wouldn't play. Like, what's the teams on that list?
Yeah, it's Ole Miss, Bama, Georgia, OU, and Vandy.
Okay, so if things were the way they used to be, you'd for sure play Ole Miss because they'd be in the West with you.
Right.
Now it's different. Now it's different. Now because of the getting rid of the divisions, now there are going to be some teams you play in some years, some teams that you don't. And here's the deal. The way the college football schedule shakes out in terms of how good these teams are, some years you are going to have killer, ridiculously difficult schedules like Florida did this year. And some years, all these teams that were supposed to be up are going to be down. But the consistency of rivalry and teams that you play year by year is gone. So some of what he's talking about is going to happen. The only way you can control it is really what you do in the non-conference. And I got to give Texas A&M credit. I got to give Miami credit for playing a big team in a non-conference. It happened to be Notre Dame. They beat them both.
And Ohio State for playing Texas, right? I mean,
and
that's
Ohio
another,
State for playing Texas. The same
that's
thing.
Another example. That's why I think they're fair to be number one over Indiana, just because of that game. You gotta give some credence to scheduling those games. I did want to go back, Joel. You mentioned USF. Feinbaum. I saw him this morning. I was watching just to check in and see.
Todd McShay's best friend.
Yeah, exactly. McShay's guy. I wanted to get and see what he had going on in his world. But he was saying that this is like letting USF, by letting them in, is like letting a AAA team play in the playoffs in Major League Baseball. Now, in college basketball, we love Cinderella stories, right? I mean, how many Cinderella stories have we fallen in love with? George Mason, the list goes on with all these different teams. So in college basketball, we love it, but it seems like in college football, we're trying to, as best we can, litigate the Cinderella stories out of the playoff. Do we want Cinderellas, or do we want a situation where it's like all powerhouse programs in the Final 12? Because it does feel like we're at a tipping point with that conversation.
I think theoretically we want the Cinderella in college football because we want to see teams rewarded for good seasons, right? Like we want a team like USF or whatever. I mean, so what we're saying essentially in the group of 6, that's like 60 teams, maybe more, and they're all basically playing for one spot a year. You know what I mean? Like that's half of FBS. And so, I mean, I guess
begging to schedule these games because, I mean, there's a lot of times where these, schools are trying to dodge some of these really good teams now.
Right. A lot of teams won't do home and homes with them, right? Like, and they'll play them at a certain time or whatever. And so it's like really difficult. So I think that like just to make sure that they're covering their bases in the division, it only makes sense to at least let one. The thing is, at a certain point, when you get to like the 11th and 12th seeds, you're arguing about teams that already have sort of questionable resumes, like a team that may have 2 losses. Like, SMU got lucky last year. They were able to get in. You know who the 12th seed was last year? It was Arizona State, man. Arizona State almost beat Texas last year, right?
Played well.
So we don't know. So we don't actually know what these teams are going to look like until they actually get out there on the field. So I think it's the only fair way is to do it that way. Like, would I like to see more group of 6 teams invited and more thoughtfulness applied to like those teams and what they do throughout the season? Yes, but that's just not the way that it is. And I kind of understand because people don't want to see games like Penn State versus SMU, man. Right? Like they say, I had to watch that game. And they were like, I don't want to see that.
So Arizona State, now aside, because I really enjoyed the run that they got on last year and the success that they had, college football is not a sport of Cinderellas. It's a sport of upsets. It's a sport on any given Saturday or Tuesday or whatever, if we're talking about
Shout
the
out
playoffs.
Action. Yeah, Tuesday night.
Yeah, exactly.
Kent
Tuesday
State
night.
last night. Great
the
game.
Zips. What about the Ohio Bobcats? Okay. What about those guys? What about what's going on in the MAC?
Ball State.
What about? Can I interest you in Miami of Ohio?
Ooh.
Don't get me started on my
Central
MAC.
Michigan or with the Chippewas, you know?
So
Some good games.
great games, always very, very, very entertaining. But upsets one thing. Cinderella's different. Cinderella is a prolonged segment or a time of you winning. You catching fire. You're in the NCAA tournament, and they don't know how you play, or you have
VCU
guards.
with Shaka Smart, right?
VCU, you have veteran guards that control the game and the tempo of the game. You dive on the floor. You're up against. It's a culture clash. That's something you can Cinderella your ass all the way to the Final Four.
Oh yeah, or it was
That
like
is-
the old Jim Boeheim 18-12 Syracuse teams that everybody had to play every year, and they had to play that
2016,
zone.
yeah.
So but in college football, that's just not as big of a deal. And by the way, I don't know if it ever will be, because at a certain point there is a 300-pound man on the line across from you. And you got to move him. You got to either open a hole or you got to block him. And if you're telling me right now that there's going to be some team from the group of 5 that is going to be able to rip off 3 games, 2 games, that outgunned and outmanned, I just don't see it happening. And I don't think that the sport is I don't think that is actually what people want from the sport. I think people like the blue bloods and the tradition of the blue bloods in this sport. This is a battle of the Titans in a way to where and last thing I'll say about it, to where, I don't know, in college basketball, Butler versus North Carolina is really, really interesting for a lot of reasons. Right now, if the national championship game was USF versus Ohio State, that's going to turn a lot of people off. I don't think the sport is really made for the Cinderella story, if you're asking me.
I would say TCU was the Cinderella story, right? That would probably be
Maybe.
the best example. And they get to the national
They didn't think
championship
we- they
game,
didn't think
and
we
the
could
game
beat
was
Michigan.
over by halftime, you know?
And,
Okay,
yeah.
why? Well, we didn't. You know, you kind of moved ahead of the beating Michigan, but okay, that's fine.
They did beat Michigan, though.
That's what I'm
Did they beat
saying.
I gotta give them credit. They beat Michigan, and then they got But I gotta give them credit. They beat Michigan. That's a big win. Is that the biggest win in TCU history? Beating Michigan in that game? You think?
I think the biggest win is beating Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl in 2010.
Okay.
Because they finished undefeated that year. And I say that year the TCU is a national champion. That to me,
there
I
you go.
feel like, I'm just like, hey, man, nobody beat us that year. We beat the Big Ten champ. That had J.J. Watt, That's,
Right.
That's the national
Well,
championship.
guess what, Joel? Good for you.
Okay, thanks. Well, hey, maybe one day LSU will be able to play in the playoffs and get back to the national championship. Maybe someday.
Maybe again. I mean, an undefeated
Maybe
season and setting all kinds of records with a Heisman Trophy winner. I don't know if it's going to get as good as that, because that did happen.
That's right. That was last decade, but I hear you.
Van does the Kermit, takes a sip
that
of
was
his drink.
That was
as
last
he does
decade.
that.
That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine.
Did-
but here's
did
the thing.
happen.
Can I? You guys don't like the Cinderella, but I'm just like, would you really rather see 10-2 Vandy, or 9-3 Texas over an 11-1 Group of 6 team?
I actually wouldn't. I actually would like. I
Definitely not a
actually-
9-3 Texas. Like, I can't do a 3-loss team in the playoff.
Yeah. I actually wouldn't. I think that those teams are out there playing football, and I would like to see teams that you play the schedules in front of you, and if you go and rack up the wins, you're deserving of the playoff. Go in there, and whether you get bludgeoned or whether you don't, I should say this, be it UCF or USF or whomever, that is a lot different than Arizona State. Like, there is still a jump normally in the resources and what you have available in the athletes between some of these group of 5 teams and even teams out of the Big 12 like Arizona State that people would not think would be able to stack up against the big boys like they did going against Texas last year.
Yeah, there aren't that many hidden gems out there. To go back to what you're saying about the size on the line and the trenches, that sort of stuff. Like you can't find that many guys to go up against, some of these top tier blue blood programs. Let's get to one big question because Lane Kiffin was talking about Texas A&M, and we're going to play the soundbite right here, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to ask you guys if you think that Lane Kiffin is correct in his take on A&M.
Put him on a neutral site. Ask Vegas who would win. What's the spread? And that to me shows more than people sitting around a room just guessing.
All right, is Lane Kiffin, we just heard Lane Kiffin break it down, talking about A&M. Now, do you believe this is exactly what Lane thinks, or do you think he's capping for the SEC agenda yet again? Van, I'll go to you first. You speak SEC. Do you think Lane Kiffin is pure in what he is saying here, or is this just more pushing the SEC conference propaganda?
No way he believes it.
Okay, good.
No way. No way Lane Kiffin believes it. Texas A&M is a great team, and let's just go ahead and put it out there. They stomped a mud hole on LSU's ass. Texas A&M put LSU.
What a vivid picture.
Texas A&M put LSU into chaos. Because of Texas A&M, we're about to learn devastating truths about Brian Kelly's life. And I'm hearing all kinds of stuff.
Can't wait.
All right. Kelly's going to sue. There's going to be a deposition. There's going to be discovery. There's going to be all types of stuff. Brian, listen to me. Don't do it. I've heard some
They might
of the
put it on the Discovery Channel by the time all this stuff comes out.
Brian, listen to your boy Van. Hold on. This is the Brian. Brian, listen to your boy Van. Don't do it. I know it's a lot of money. I know it's a lot of money, and it is a lot of money, man, but you got more money to make, bro. You can make money on TV. You can go steal another $30 million at another program. I have heard some of the stuff that they are ready to say, Brian. I've heard some of the stuff that they've said that you've done.
Let me just hint at it. Let me just say, because I don't know.
No. Can't hint at it because we'll hit that getting the fuck sued. Hold on.
I'm just gonna say.
Let me talk to Brian. Like
the
I've heard
worst
some
thing.
of the stuff that they've said that you've done, Brian, and I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't fuck with these people.
How bad? But how bad are you doing it, Van? I mean, you really put a real cloud over that man. I mean, how bad could it be?
It's not great.
The hoodoo worked.
I'll tell you that. This wasn't part of the hoodoo. Hold on. I don't take any responsibility for what they're doing. This wasn't a part of the hoodoo.
Okay.
This is something different.
I don't know. I mean, some fouls came out today. Are you saying he's gonna be in that? I mean,
No, I don't want to say. Come on, man.
I'm just saying.
Don't bring. Don't.
Some fouls came out. I don't know.
Joel's connecting the dots.
Yeah, don't bring that out, bro. But I'm just saying.
Okay. Billy said Joel in the chat. So I guess I went too far.
So Texas A&M I give them credit, is what I'm trying to say. I give them credit. However, objectively, it would be very difficult for you to look at Ohio State right now and think that Texas A&M can fuck with them. Ooh. I don't love the SEC. What am I talking about? I don't give a fuck about any other team except for LSU. But I'll tell you this, though. Ohio State is locked in, and they're getting better every single week as Justin Sane continues to develop. It's between them and, to me, Indiana, although I will say that with the way that Indiana struggled against Penn State, I'm saying right now that, to me, Ohio State is the best team in the country until proven otherwise.
Okay, so the Aggies, as Van has pointed out, they're a very good team, undefeated, atop the toughest conference in college football. They defeated the number 9 team at home earlier this year, and by the eye test, they're one of the most physically impressive and imposing rosters in college football. You know, from Casey Concepcion to Cassius Howell, like they look great. Okay, we know they're good. The question is, how good? So let's go to this clip real quick from Lane Kiffin.
Put him on a neutral site. Ask Vegas who would win. What's the spread? And that to me shows more than people sitting around a room just guessing.
So I had my dude Frias ask our people at FanDuel, and Kiffin said, I need the people in Vegas. Well, FanDuel is as good or better than Vegas. Okay, like who would win if you matched up these schools at a neutral site? Texas A&M versus Indiana, Texas A&M versus Ohio State at a neutral site. Both of those lines came in with Indiana is the favorite, and Ohio State is the favorite over Texas A&M. So to answer your question, Lane Kiffin, you said, "Oh, I would rather have people do that." Well, we had some people do that, and they said they would be favored in a game against Texas A&M. Okay, and that's the thing. Like, look, the Aggies, their only top 25 win is this 2-loss Notre Dame game. Right? They haven't had to play, as we mentioned earlier, they haven't had to play Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, Vandy, Oklahoma, or Tennessee. Their SEC opponents this fall, so that's Auburn, Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas, LSU, and Mizzou. They have a combined league record of 8-27. They add South Carolina to that on Saturday. That South Carolina is 1-6 in the SEC. And then they get to play Texas in the regular season finale. So if they win that game, fine, we can start talking about, okay, maybe they're the top team in the country or whatever. But we don't have to do this right now. Like, you don't have to pump up those boys over there, Lane. Like, they'll get a chance to prove if they're the number one team in the country. And if they look really good against Texas, if they look really good in the SEC championship game, then there probably will be a 1 or a 2 seed. We won't have to worry about that. So I mean, the SEC, man, again, the dick riding is crazy, bro. Like, Lane Kiffin, you don't have to do that, bro. You got your own program. You have a good program. You don't have to jump out there and hop on it for Texas A&M. They got enough going on.
Well, Lane knows that the perception of Texas A&M, which seems to be, which is the only undefeated team in the conference right now, and if they are looked at as a strong top of the conference, then it helps the perception of the rest of the teams. I think that's what he is concerned about. He is concerned about the magic trick that he has to do as a head coach. This, to me, is nonsensical blibber blabber. That's not what I'm fucking with right now. I'm saying right now, it's pretty clear to me in terms of the way these teams have played, who the best teams in college football are. And, as much as you could argue back and forth about Indiana and Texas A&M, I think clearly right now, Ohio State's the best team in college football.
And I think they have the best player, Jeremiah Smith, which Julian saying being the Heisman favorite, I mean, kudos to him, but I do feel like Jeremiah Smith, at some point, we're going to all look around and be like, this guy just set the Ohio State wide receiver record, 25 games, 25 touchdowns. Maybe he's the Heisman Trophy winner. We'll see what happens with that. But Joel pointed it out, talking about A&M. Maybe there is some fraud detection happening, right? We got some, we wanted to do a little bit of a fraud alert here. A&M, Joel mentioned some of their wins and, the competition that they've been dominating. Now, if we go to the Big Ten, Indiana, they've beaten Michigan State, Maryland, Penn State, who are combined 1-17 in Big Ten conference play. Also, Indiana State, they have Purdue and Wisconsin. Wisconsin just got their first ranked win, beating Washington. Shout out to Luke Fickell. He's back. But they're, again, combined 1-12 in the Big. Man, I like getting your reactions. Combined 1-12 in the Big left on the schedule. So looking at Indiana, and then we got Notre Dame as well that's also maybe on the fraud territory conversation. 7 wins. 3 have come against the last place teams in the ACC, Big Ten and SEC. We got Boston College, Purdue, and Arkansas. Those teams are combined 0-18 in league play, 5-24 overall. The Bear, Chris Fallica was the one to point that out. So are we worried that we have more frauds than maybe we think at this point? It does feel like we kind of know who the good teams are, but also their resumes are a little fraudulent, Van. I'm a little bit concerned.
So if I was going to be a dick about it, which I have in the past, I've been known to be, I would say that Notre Dame is the biggest fraud concern for me, just because of the fact that they legitimately do not have a good win on the season.
You also famously called them the best one-loss team in the country. So
I didn't.
Yeah, you did, right?
Did I say that?
Early in the season.
Damn,
right?
hold him accountable, Tate. Hold him accountable, man.
Okay. Shut up. I did say that. All right.
What am I going to do with this guy?
What am I doing with this guy? What am I doing with this guy? Huh? I did say that at that time. I said the best one-loss team is not is a 2-loss team, and it's Notre Dame. So this is what
Which
I'll
is
say.
a great answer at the time. I loved it.
It is a great answer at the time, and I still think that it is. You could argue it, but let me tell you, if we're talking about frauds now, if we're talking about frauds, then you have to look at a team that has not played or beaten one. They've played great teams, but have not beaten one great team. And when you look at everything else, is it possible that Notre Dame makes it to the playoff having lost to the only 2 good teams that are on their schedule? And if that is the case, that is kind of the thing that people were talking about with the playoffs as it relates to people like Notre Dame that would have those type of schedules. Would you think that a team that played two great teams, lost to both of those great teams, close competitive games, right? One on the road, one at home, should make it over somebody else that kind of navigated a gauntlet and got there, right? Now, Indiana is different because Indiana went to Autzen and beat Oregon. Now, no matter how good you think Oregon is, no matter what you think about Oregon, that is one of the toughest venues to play in college football, and they went up there and they beat them. I give them credit for that. Mm-hmm. So frauds, maybe. Who knew Penn State would suck as much as they would have? But as far as Notre Dame, Notre Dame is just, they're in a situation to where starting off 0-2 with those two games, how can you know how good they are when they have, in fact, not beaten anybody that's really good?
And again, it comes back to style points, right? It feels like fashion over function is sort of how we're operating as a committee, right? We like the fashion of Notre Dame because they look like they could have won those games, and there's a questionable holding call against Texas A&M, and then there's the Miami field goal that they make that really wasn't a great decision by Cristobal, but it kind of works out for him. So it does feel like the fashion of how they've lost is more important than the function of the fact that they actually lost the games. Joel, do you think that there are frauds still on the board, or are you going to be on the more positive side?
There are a couple of frauds, and they're a little bit low. They're a little bit lower, and so maybe they won't come up and bite anything. But man, what has Michigan done to be ranked over Virginia and Louisville? Like that. I mean, that's, if I'm the ACC, I'm like, what are you guys talking about? They've played two of the top 7 schools in the Big Ten. So those are the programs with 2 or fewer conference losses. Lost to both. They beat Nebraska. Great.
Lost to Oklahoma in dominating fashion. Lost to USC. We saw that game in person.
We watched it, yeah.
Yeah. The Big Ten teams they've beaten this year have an 8-24 combined record in conference, and that includes winless Michigan State and Purdue, right? So then they get Northwestern, who's 3-3 in conference play. Maybe they'll beat that. Then they get my boys, the Terps, struggling this year, 1-5 in conference play. You know. Yeah, man, Mike, man, I hope you're gonna be able to hold on, bro. And then they get Ohio State, and I think the Michigan thing is gonna solve itself because they're gonna probably, I mean, you know, I'm sure these are gonna be famous last words, but I think the Buckeyes are gonna exact some revenge against them this year or whatever. But like, even if you just did eye test, like, what have you seen out of Michigan this year that makes you think that they're a good team, right? We keep waiting for this Bryce Underwood breakout, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess that'll just happen next year. Like, he's not bad, but he hasn't been exactly like what everybody thought he was going to be at the beginning of the year. So I think Michigan is a fraud, and I think Tennessee is a fraud. I mean, they're down at number 23. Again, who is
Nico Love coming back to the forefront?
Well, I'm just saying, who is my boy Beat Man down there, bro? Like, they don't have a good win on their schedule. They've beaten Syracuse, they beat East Tennessee State, they beat UAB, they beat Mississippi State by 7, Arkansas by 3, and Kentucky by 3 scores.
But it goes back to style points, right, Joel? They almost beat Georgia.
They almost beat Georgia
at home. They almost beat Georgia at home, right? They didn't keep it close against Alabama, and they kind of kept it close against. They kept it close against OU at home. But like, why are they? It would just make more sense to rank James Madison over them. Like, we're done with you, Tennessee. Thanks for playing, but you know, you can make your whole year by fucking up Vanderbilt at the end of the year if you'd like, right? And then we'll come back to you. But like, we don't have to rank them and pretend that they've done anything this year.
Yeah, it's tough with this, with the way things are and kind of the staccato nature of these seasons. Look at what just happened to me. I watched Notre Dame earlier, and I was very impressed with Notre Dame, and I completely forgot that I was impressed with them. I guess this gives credence to Joel's amnesia thing now that I think about it. I forgot, and yeah, maybe so. Maybe the amnesia game. I said Jeremiah Love, Jadarius, like all of that. But, you know, it's just so spread out. The question is this. Who isn't a fraud? Who do we know for sure is not a fraud?
That's a good question.
Who do we know for sure without a fraud? Like, what are the best wins this year for Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, what they beat Texas. I guess that counts as something. I mean, that's the thing about college. The thing is, though, is when you beat people's ass, it does kind of help the argument, right? Like,
well, they didn't beat Texas's ass.
No, they didn't beat Texas. They
You're
beat
saying
Texas
the rest of their games,
and the
right?
rest of their schedule, like man, they handled
Washington's
them.
first half was the only time we saw them slip up a little bit, right?
Okay, but bring up Ohio State's schedule right now.
Yeah, I'm about to do it right now.
Like bring up Ohio State, and this is not an indictment of them. I think they're pretty clearly the best team in college football.
They beat Illinois when Illinois was ranked. They shut out Illinois. Wisconsin. They beat Penn State by 24. They beat Purdue by 24. I'm trying to look for they beat Grambling by 70.
Damn.
Man.
No, but the Grambling band won. Remember?
The Grambling band won. We're gonna talk about Grambling later on. But what I'm saying is, if we're being fair about this, right? That Texas win is a good win. Texas has rebounded and rallied to be a good, solid team. But Texas is an overtime away from losing to Kentucky. Texas is a late rally away from losing to Mississippi State.
They also lost to Florida. They lost to
Florida. But I'm just saying that you could look Texas. I think we haven't really talked about sort of what Texas has done to kind of save their season and to continue playing hard and pulling out those close games, because it could really be over. They could be in an LSU situation right now, but they're not. They're in a situation where they still have a lot left to play for. But if you were looking at just resume, and you weren't looking at the blue chip ratio, the composite, any of that stuff like that, you look at Ohio State's schedule and you'd be like, there's not a whole lot there that's impressive either in terms of what's going on. Now, you still got Michigan left to play, but there's not a lot there that tells you, based upon resume, that they are what we know them to be. But we just know Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Sand, Caleb Downs. We just know what's on the team. And that's a part of it, and it's going to be a part of it as we kind of evaluate these teams going forward.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, the thing is and maybe this is just a larger complaint or argument. The last round of realignment was just so dumb. I just think. I mean, because it was better when we had more leagues, when the Pac-12 was a real viable league, because now we have these unbalanced schedules and teams. I mean, there are some bigger name games.
Now you can hide just based on your schedule. And again, these schedules are made years in advance, so it's not like it was made at the start of the year and they're trying to hide certain teams. It just kind of is what it is. But
nobody's
with 20
doing it on
teams,
purpose.
It's tough. Yeah.
Right, yeah. But it's just like it's really tough to know, even within a conference these days, like how good teams are until they actually get to the end of the year. And so, I hope one day, sometime in the next decade, they're going to resolve this and they're going to right size FBS or whatever. But until then, we just it's an open question about how many frauds there are in the top 25. It could be a lot of them.
A whole lot. Let's go to the overreaction of the week. This is Pitt head coach Pat Narduzzi. He was asked whether the Notre Dame game this weekend, which College Game Day will be at, is a quote-unquote must-win. And here's what he said.
Do you feel like this is a must-win for this team when it comes to something?
Absolutely not. It is not an ACC game. I'm glad you brought that up. It's not an ACC game. I gladly get beat 103 or 110 to 10. In that game, they can put 100 up on us as long as we win the next two after that. But again, our focus is on Notre Dame and getting as many wins as we can.
So there you have it. Narduzzi says he doesn't care if they lose 110 to 10 in that game. He said that Notre Dame could put up 100 on us as long as we win the next two after that. So he is loyal to his ACC run. But also, I don't think they need to lose to Notre Dame 110 to 10. A very strange comment, Van. Have you ever heard a coach basically say they don't care how bad they lose to a team?
Joel, what the hell is this guy talking about?
Bruh.
That was crazy.
I mean, dog, again, you're in the ACC, man. Like, don't devalue your league. Just like, well, I don't care. We might get our ass kicked by this better team, but as long as we good in the ACC, I'll be straight. And also, what are you messaging? You talked about this, Van. Dogs. Would a dog look at that and want to play for that guy? You know what I mean? Like, it was like, oh, yeah, we might, he didn't say we might, but he's like, I don't care if we lose by 100. Get the fuck out of here, man.
He started with 103, which is a very specific number, too. He was like, I don't care if they score 103, and then he changed it to 110. I'm like, is he already envisioning what the score is going to be?
Well,
with the way
Pitt's
Pitt's
been 103 to 10 in the last couple of meetings, so maybe that's what it is. But yeah.
Okay,
with the way Pitt's been playing and the way their young quarterback is coming on, doesn't Pitt stand a good chance against Notre Dame this weekend? What's the line on that game? Should
11
that game
and a half. It's a big line.
That's a big number. That's a big number. So
On
maybe
the
they'll go
road.
out there and get fucked up. But I don't know. It's just to me, that wasn't very inspiring to me. That wasn't inspiring at all. Although I will say that like he is trying to dick ride the ACC, Joel, which is what you wanted. You wanted the ACC.
Well, no, I don't think that's
dick
dick. I think
ride.
that's the wrong way to dick ride. Because you just be like, look, I play in a tough conference. We'll be ready and we'll show up and we'll beat anybody. Like every game is a must win. Every game is a must win. Every week we got to go 1-0. We, in the ACC, we're prepared for games like this. Notre Dame is nothing to us. It's the same as preparing for Georgia Tech. You could say some shit like that.
You could also bring up that
it's the
Boston
same thing.
College had them on the ropes for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted to actually talk about the ACC, you could actually
the
get
bottom
some
of our
context.
league had them in hell for a little bit, right?
So, Joel, I guess my question is, you say that's the wrong way to dick ride, the wrong way to ride dick. What's the right way, Joel? What would be your technique? Like, what would you like? What like when we're
Joel,
talking
share your
about this?
gift.
Yeah,
See, man,
Joel, tell us what's the right way, because you said that there's a wrong way. So what's the right way?
I'm not going to be toxic. I'm not going to be afraid to elaborate on how to dick ride properly.
Please
It's our
do.
most popular
I'm a
clip
married
outside
man,
of the
2
Michael
kids.
Irvin
I got
clip.
nothing to prove. Okay,
Please do, Joe.
I got nothing to prove. I just told you. I told you the right way to dick ride. The right way to dick ride is say, hey, look, this Notre Dame is an impressive team, but we're not afraid of them. We get challenged like that in the ACC all the time. Every
week.
game is a must-win game.
Yeah.
Every week. When you play at Pittsburgh, you play at University of
Joe.
Pittsburgh Panthers. Every game is a must-win game.
Ride that dick, Joel.
That's right. That's right. All right.
Also, Pitt, by the
hey,
way,
look,
some legitimate players came out of
I mean,
Pitt,
the thing is, I just
point that out.
I
too.
mean, I'm not trying to be nasty, but like, I mean, we're adults. We know what dick riding is. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I would have some opinions on what the right way to dick ride. I'm just saying. I mean, if you think about it in that way, it doesn't have to be as homophobic as you were trying to make it.
What are you talking about?
Van toxic Lathan.
See what I'm saying? That's how you know it's getting to it. Wow, it's not at all. I celebrate it. Whoever's doing it, I just wanted you to say it's not about me.
Okay.
Like, I'll tell you. I'll send you clips of what I've seen out there, what I admire. So don't get me started. I'll try to keep that out of this podcast. Okay. But I just wanted you said, what's the right way? Let me
Did I give you the right way? Do you accept the way?
Okay, I do. Let me answer the question the way I think. I would say it. I think that what the ACC, I'm being serious now. The ACC has a lot of history in their conference. They have the history of Florida State, the history of Miami. They have a lot of history in their conference, a lot of great moments in their conference. These are schools where football matters. And
a lot of great players, too. I mean, Megatron at Georgia Tech. Yeah, come on.
Megatron at, Donovan
Larry
McNabb
Fitzgerald
at
at Pitt.
Syracuse.
Yeah.
Herman Moore
Larry
at Virginia.
Fitzgerald,
Luke Kuechly at Boston College.
Tony Dorsett at Pitt.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Aaron Donald at Pitt.
Aaron Donald at Pitt.
Incredible.
Pitt, stand up.
Doug
Pitt,
Flutie, Boston College.
There you go.
Like, come on, man. It's the AC motherfucking C in this bitch. Atlantic Coast Conference, bitch. The fuck we talking about? We not playing, bruh. You remember, let me tell you something. Speaking of Notre Dame and Boston College, remember when Notre Dame had the national championship locked up and then they lost, spilled fucking spaghetti sauce all over it, losing to Boston College, Florida State, a different ACC team, won the national championship because the ACC is where it's at, baby.
Accomplished greatness.
I know what I'm saying. I feel like that was a Glenn Foley Boston College team that did that to Notre Dame. And it's funny you said that because that was a Lou Holtz team, and Lou Holtz was like the master of poor mouthing, right? Like he'd be like, well, I just don't even know. The best example was before they played in the Orange Bowl against Florida State. I think it was 96. And he said, this is probably the least talented team I've had at Notre Dame. And that's the kind of, if you're going to be Lou Holtz when you do it, if you're going to be the godfather of the poor mouth in your squad, to do it like that. Don't do what the fuck Pat Narduzzi was doing. I can't.
Or like Spurrier,
nobody can get hype on
like
that.
Spurrier
Yeah.
used to get his whole team. He's like, we went to practice day. Guys can't throw the ball. Guys can't catch the ball, right? And it's just kind of to fire up and motivate your team. This did not feel like an effort to fire up your team. This felt like I don't care about Notre Dame.
Clemson. Think about what Clemson been doing in the last couple of Clemson, man.
I'm just saying, man.
Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson. Remember, go back in the day, CJ Spiller. We know what's going on in the AC fucking C.
You don't have to do it. SMU, great play. Your playoff team. First year there. You can.
They don't count, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean,
we're taking the Pony Express.
With Florida State,
they just got to that bitch. We ain't putting Cal.
Eric Dickerson, you're in.
Miami shouldn't count then because none of their great moments have happened in the ACC.
That's kind of true. That's actually kind of true.
No, we're taking it. Yeah, we're taking it. ACC needs all the breaks they can get. But yeah, a very strange press conference. We'll see what happens in that game. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk the biggest games of Week 12, some of our favorite other matchups, a little big van on campus, and Billy Gill's going to come in and set the record straight for what we talked about today. We'll be right back after the break. Ring Your Tailgate is brought to you by FanDuel. Ready to fire up your Saturdays? FanDuel's got a boost you don't want to miss. It's called Boostin' with the Boys, and it's giving everyone a college football profit boost every single week. This week, I like the Notre Dame Fighting Irish to cover the big line, minus 11.5, just because Pat Narduzzi said that they would win by 100 points. We're talking real games, real teams, real Saturdays with an extra payout on the line. It's easy, it's fun, and it's only on FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/tailgate to download the app. Check out the Boostin' with the Boys offer and get in on the action now. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. All right, we're back. Ring Your Tailgate. Big games this weekend. A little note here at the top before we get into the actual games. We're going to be going live a little bit later this week. We have heard the people. The people have been chiming in. They have said that Saturday, the live show, we have been doing it at 7, Eastern time, 4 Pacific time. We're kind of in the middle of that second window. There's been a lot of games that we've kind of been talking as they're happening. So people have been pointing this out. So we're going to push it back to 6 Pacific and 9 Eastern. Joel, you're a trooper for making this work, but that's the plan this week, and we're going to lead right into Todd McShay and Minch as they get started with about 5 minutes to go in the last windows of games. Joel, is that okay for us to do that?
I'm excited. My wife is not, but that's okay. I got to manage the house, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what this. You get the frame.
Your wife isn't. Your wife isn't excited about what now?
About me having to work late. Because that takes me out of bathing the kids and putting them to bed and all that stuff. So it's just tough, man. I got to do my part.
What time do they go to bed? You can put them to bed before.
It's usually somewhere between 7:30 to.
We don't start till 9.
So who normally puts them to bed? You put them to bed. Both of them
teamwork.
I put my son. She takes the baby girl.
But now you're saying that she's gonna have to put both children to bed.
Well, I mean, I'm probably gonna have to put them to bed, but that means that some of that's going to be happening while the games are going on.
Right. So you know what's crazy is if it was like 3,000 years ago, you wouldn't even be there. Okay, you know where you'll be? You'll be with me and Tate, right? And we would have spears, and we would be out hunting. We would be tracking a boar or an elk, and we would be going whatever, and we would be trying to
chasing the
take
buffalo
the spear
out there.
and kill the thing. And your wife's job would be this amazing job of.
I'm glad you said it like that.
of hunting small game, because women hunted and they hunted small game,
squirrels,
rabbits, things like squirrels around that, while we were off hunting the big game, you know what I mean? And now, guess what? We don't get to hunt the big game of college football anymore. You got to come on here and tell everybody how your people is mad at you because you got to do this college football thing, Joe.
Well,
DoorDash ruined.
There's two things. So even a generation ago, the men in my life don't understand this. This is like you have a job, Right. Like, I mean, it could be, So things things have changed. And also, look, I mean, this is not a punishment. I love my kids. I like.
Nah, it's not the way. Stop. Don't try to clean this shit
I
up.
love
That's
it,
why
man.
I don't like.
I love putting my little son to sleep,
bro.
man.
I know that you love that, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking low right now, so she doesn't hear me. That's besides the point, right? I'm not acting like I would never, the things that are getting said right now are about to get said lower, so nobody comes in here and goes, stop playing with your little friends on the computer. I know how it goes. Well, like what I'm saying right now is, when are we gonna stand up? Like when will we stand up? Like when will we stand up? There's a time. Shouldn't you just go in there and be like, hey,
I got a podcast.
I got a neck. I got a neck issue.
Podcast.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What's up? Where my tamales at? Shouldn't that be what it is that we do? We're not like that.
No, it's a whole new generation. I agree. I understand. I get where you coming
Joel
from.
said it's a new day.
Because sometimes I feel, I'm just like, yeah, man, my dad never, he just got, I got to go out of town for work, that was it. Sometimes it was like that, but it's just a different time, you know what I'm saying? And I want my wife to be happy. I don't want to miss, being here for my kids. And I appreciate you all understanding and working with me.
Of course we do. Of course we do. I'm still gonna send you some more videos. You got a lot of videos that's coming. All right, what's the nigga that run 105 miles without stopping? He be on Joe Rogan. What's his name?
Oh. The Super
Y'all know what I'm talking about?
No.
Y'all never seen this guy? Y'all know this guy. The black Marine, and he runs 5,000 miles a day. Every time I want to do something, I watch one of this guy's videos, and this guy's like, get the fuck up. You only got one life. He literally runs like 100-mile marathons. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all never seen this? Goggins. David Goggins. I know Frias would know.
Man, I looked up nigga who be running.
David Goggins.
David Goggins. Y'all don't know David Goggins?
I never heard of David Goggins.
I know him now. He's 50 years old.
Yeah, that's how I know y'all not pushing yourselves, man. Y'all not pushing yourselves. Y'all never heard of Goggins, bro.
I know Walton Goggins.
Hey, wait, hold
David
on.
Goggins.
Have y'all ever run a half marathon or a marathon? You ever done anything like that?
Nah, I'm not doing that type of shit. I used to run a lot. I used to run 5 miles and stuff. But I never ran one of those before. I'm not with that dumbass shit. Fuck that shit.
It's not saying that ain't dumbass shit, bro. That's
My
what I'm talking
grandpa
about,
had a good
challenging
line
yourself.
when people had the 13.1 on their car. He was like, you know what that says to me? They're a half-ass.
Wow.
Was
that the grandfather that fought in Iwo Jima?
Yeah, it's a good line.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, it's good. I wouldn't tell him nothing, though.
Yeah, man. He
said he only does 26.2. He said he doesn't do 13.1.
There's only one time I ever argued with a World War II veteran. My homeboy's my homeboy's grandfather. He was cool as fuck, right? I used to talk to him, right? And he would tell me, he would say stuff about the Tuskegee Airmen. He was cool. He was cool as shit. And then one day, I was walking down to talk to him. It's back in Louisiana. And he goes, hey, on your way down here, can you grab that bowl of nigger toes?
Oh, God. Oh.
It's a big bowl of Brazil nuts.
Oh, man.
And this was one of those van moments where I was like, this guy's old as shit, and do you just let this go?
Man.
And I couldn't, man. I had to light the homie grandfather up, man. I had to fucking throw the Brazil nuts everywhere. I had to he was sad because he was so fucking fucked up racially that he didn't even realize that he had offended his favorite little nigger toe. And so I had to freak out. And it was like, damn. I came home and I told my dad. My dad was like, well, he old. It's my only time shout out, Happy Veterans Day, man.
It's the second time nigger toes have come up in my life. I actually literally texted nigger toes to my wife yesterday. She had said something, so my mother-in-law is here, and there was some game she was playing with my son, and she said something offensive, a problematic offensive game is happening with your son and some shoes. And my mother, my wife is biracial, but she identified, I know that this is interesting to you, man. My wife identifies as black, but she's biracial, okay? But my mother is white.
You're married? Biracial?
I'm married to a biracial. That's right. And so I was like, well, what did she say? Your mom say nigga toes or something? So anyway, it's funny how the word.
Is that what she said though?
Nah, she didn't. It was
What would you
it was
do if she
something else.
said-
It was something
What
totally.
would you-
It wasn't even that. It was just like my son started picking up the shoe and throwing it in the room, and so
And she
he
was
wasn't
like,
supposed
that
to be doing
nigga. She's like, that nigga's got an arm.
This is why Frias walked away from you, dog. This is why
Frias is listening to AM radio
Frias is
right
like,
now.
I was like, yeah, man. He's like, why don't y'all just move on ahead?
Oh my God.
Man don't know how to act.
Let's flip forward. Let's do biggest games of Week 12. We got them right here. Number 11, Texas at number 5, Georgia. Interesting wrinkle about this game. Billy Napier, former Florida coach, was at Georgia practice this week. Had a lot of Georgia people.
George about to lose.
They brought him in.
Why you? What a hater, man. Come on,
George
Billy.
about to get fucked up.
I think they brought him
Can
in
you
for
believe
intel because Georgia beat, Florida beat
on.
Texas. So I don't know. Something to keep an eye on
Wow.
there.
Man.
Georgia,
That's funny.
they got some nerve. I know that he has a past with Kirby Smart, right? They were both.
Yeah, they
assist-
worked together at Bama. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
but
they're Bama
I'm
brothers.
sorry, bro. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. I'd keep him far away, bro. Can I say something? This is not just one of the biggest games of this year. This is a huge fucking game, period, man. This is a huge cultural game in college football. This is a gigantic matchup. Think about the stakes that could possibly be at play here, right? Arch Manning, you have that storyline where Arch Manning is going up against a really talented team. If he continues his ascension, maybe this is the game that Arch Manning becomes the guy that we thought he was going to become. You have Steve Sarkisian, right? Who some people are whispering, even though there's been huge denials, that might be looking around. Maybe there's an NFL job out there for Steve Sarkisian, right? Maybe if the college thing gets a little bit too complicated and too tough for him, he'll start looking around at other jobs, right? Then you have the Georgia situation. Besides them bringing in mediocre coaches to come in and hang out, which I don't understand, right? But you have Georgia in a situation where they are no longer dominant. The only way that Georgia is dominant right now is in the win-loss. And it's very important to be dominant in the win-loss. Do not get me wrong. It is important to win football games. But the brand of football being played at Georgia right now is not what we have become accustomed to in the last 5 to 7 years. So the question is Georgia going to show their dominance? Is Sarkisian going to stick it out in Texas with performances by teams, with teams that can overwhelm their opponents? Arch Manning, Texas's season being on the line. All of this stuff, it's all happening right here in this game. It's a big game. I don't think people are even talking. This is a big game. This is a big game, guys. Big game alert.
Well, I mean, it's like also the thing about Texas. So this is an important 3-game stretch for them, man. They get this game at Georgia, and then they get the 2 schools that hate them the most to close out the year. They got Arkansas, and then they got Texas A&M, right? So those are the 2 schools. I would argue that those schools hate them even more than Oklahoma, just from,
Arkansas hate Georgia the most?
No, Arkansas hates Texas.
Texas.
The
Oh,
most.
Texas the most.
Texas the
Okay.
most. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
A&M might hate him the most.
A&M hates them the most.
Probably,
I think
yeah.
Arkansas is number 2, then I think OU's number 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
OU and Texas kind of have this weird, like they hate each other, but they kind of respect, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like we're on a
weird.
different level than y'all. That's why they went to the SEC together, right?
Yep.
Like they think of themselves sort of. Yeah, but anyway. But so I think it's important also to point out that Arch is so much better than the last time everybody was really checking in on him. Like
It's
when
so
he had
true,
his-
bro.
Yeah. Like, man, bro, since week 7, and I got this from PFF, shout out Max and Dalton over there. Since week 7, Arch has the 12th best passing grade in the nation. Okay?
Pretty impressive.
So he's doing all right. And I even went offline. I asked our dude, Quincy Avery, who's been a notable
Arch fucking critic.
Yeah, arch critic. And so I asked him about the Will Howard thing, because we talked about that the other week. Like, who would you take, Arch or Will Howard? And he said, I would take Will, but he didn't say it like it was crazy. He's like, my Arch has shown he's getting a little bit better. And like, you know, if I had to take him for the long term, I would take Arch, obviously. So it's like, Arch is showing, like, it would have seemed absurd to set that 2 months ago. But now Arch looks a lot better. He's been playing a lot better. The issue is like, is anybody gonna help him? Like, is the offensive line gonna be able to hold up? Right? Are they gonna be able to generate some sort of a running game? If they can't do that, it'll probably
Is the
be
defense
tough.
going to help him? Really? I mean, I
Bro,
think
yeah,
that's
man, bro, look, man.
yeah.
Colin Simmons, again, no disrespect to Brian Arakpo. I'm familiar with your game, brother. You know what I'm saying? But
No, you're
Colin
not.
Simmons,
Disrespectful.
Colin Simmons, look, man. Ask our friend Brian Curtis, man. Colin Simmons is a one of one at Texas in my lifetime. There's never been anybody like him there. I'm sorry. That's a bad motherfucker, man.
Yeah,
It's going to be a
shout out
great
to
game.
Rapper.
And
It's
I
gonna
will
be a great
say,
game.
last year, remember when Texas had game day and they had all the A-list stars that were there, right? They got everybody there for that game against Georgia, and Georgia absolutely embarrassed them. Maybe there was some redemption there for Texas, to go down to Athens to get the win.
Georgia is the last mountain for Texas to scale in the SEC. Like, that's the one that had. They beat Bama at Bama. You know, they've shown that they can compete with everybody, but they've not done it to Georgia yet. This is, yet another chance for them to pass that test.
And Kirby is the guy in the SEC, still is. So, I mean, this is also for Sark to maybe knock him off a little bit as well. We also have number 12 Oklahoma at number 4 Alabama, Iowa number 20 at number 17 USC, number 9 Notre Dame at number 23 Pittsburgh. So those 4 games, all going to be really good games this weekend. Is there a chance that Oklahoma could shock the world this weekend, Van? Do you buy the idea that they maybe could, shock the system?
Lost in the LSU loss from last week, where we got some of the worst quarterback play I've ever seen.
Damn.
Yeah, he was bad.
Jarrett Lee is somewhere laughing right now.
Damn.
Like, what?
Jarrett Lee, what a name.
Shout out to Jarrett Lee, who
Jordan
I
Jefferson?
feel like wasn't. Those are 2 super talented guys that weren't used right. How about that? How about I say that? How about I say what's up to Jordan Jefferson and what's up to Jarrett Lee? Both of those guys had some talent and they weren't used right or developed properly. That's what I'm saying. But I can tell you one thing: Garrett Nussmeier, love what he has done and meant for LSU, but that boy was in hell last week, shall I say. Now, lost in that was the fact that Alabama didn't play very well. And that's just a fact. I'm not saying that the LSU defense is not good. It is a good defense, right? But I'm saying that, like, Alabama is having problems right now pushing the ball down the field, and they look vulnerable. They are a good team. This is not hate. I do hate them, but this is not hate. They are a good team. If Oklahoma comes in and plays the right type of football game, they can beat Alabama. Everybody's talking about the fact that Alabama is not dead, that, the tales of their demise, as they were spoken earlier in this season and after the retirement of Nick Saban, those tales have been overtold. And I don't think that they have. I really don't. I think that the version of Alabama that existed during that Saban era is in fact dead. Now, there's a new version, and that version is damn fucking good. But they can be beat. And if Oklahoma has the right type of game plan, and if they play the right type of game, they can beat Alabama. That's going to be an entertaining one.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I mean, Bama is very good, but also very gettable, man. And, I mean, the one thing... So last year, one of the most puzzling final scores was Oklahoma 24, Alabama 3, right? And, like, Jackson Arnold played a big role in that game as well. But it was like Britt Venables had that Kalen DeBoer offense in hell, man. And so I don't know. Like, I think I'm not necessarily picking OU, but, man, OU, I mean, they're first nationally in tackles for loss, number 3 in sacks and TDs allowed and rushing TDs allowed. Like, they could easily make Bama one-dimensional. Bama has not yet established that it could run the ball. So it's like, I don't know. But but the other part of that is that I don't think OU has played all that well either.
They haven't.
They're not, they're not as good as their record, I don't think. So it'll be interesting to see who emerges here. I predict it'll be a low-scoring game, though.
But those will be 2 really good games and kind of table setters for the rest of the season in the SEC. Just quickly on LSU, Van, someone sent me a funny meme. It was, like when you look through the, it kind of like fades into the person. So they started with Nussmeier and they cleaned the glasses and it turned into Max Johnson at LSU. So I thought that was something that you would laugh at, maybe.
Wow. Who is that person?
Funny.
Who sent you that?
Friend of mine. He's an Ole Miss fan.
Tell him I said fuck him. How's that?
I'll clip that. That'll be good.
Nah, it's very true though. It's very true. It's not very. And look,
I forgot that Max Johnson was even at LSU. That's how That's what
he
made me
was.
laugh.
Won a couple of big games. But like, what I guess what I'll say is like, just if we haven't done the gates of hell in a while, we'll do it next week. I think LSU right now is the #1 hell team in all of college football. You thought it was Clemson? No. You thought it was Florida State? No. For a while, you thought Texas was in hell. That turned out to be not even purgatory, right? Like the #1 hell team, the #1 we are in hell team in college football is not Clemson. It's not Florida State. It's LSU. Damn. We are in the most hell. We got people fighting at all levels of government. The coach is suing. This is hell. This is hell.
Welcome
pay
to
that
hell.
man. Pay that man what you owe LSU. Don't do that.
All right, watch.
Don't be that. Don't. That's some hoe shit.
Here's a
Man.
fun
That's
exercise.
pay that man what he
Nah.
owe. Give him his $53 million, man.
Okay, well, I'm telling you, what I told y'all guys with the
Discovery's
Fat
coming.
Max said. He said, eat what you got. I'm telling you.
Pay that man what you owe. Stop being Welchers.
Okay, all right,
Welchers.
okay.
That's what
Well,
these call
okay.
people.
All right. By the way, I got to know that's probably, I bet you if I look it up, the term Welching is wrong and you can't say it no more.
Let's see.
I bet you right now. Billy says it's problematic. Boom. And if anybody would know, it would be BG.
Yeah.
The Brothers Guild.
Man, what did I get? I mean, it is something I've only read in old books.
Because here's the deal. Every single term,
Welsh.
every single term that is used to describe some type of action or behavior that was created back in the day by Tate's people, every single term is bad in some way. Every single term is referring to some group. Every term is funny. That's why I say just fuck it. Let us since everybody got one, I think that's a sign that we love each other. Since every group has their own term, like fuck it, let's use them all.
All right, let's go to favorite other matchup on the
Billy
board.
in,
Billy's having a great time laughing at our time here. Favorite other matchup on the board, Joel. Do you have a game that stands out to you?
Looks like Billy's in a hotel, but we can talk about that later. So you have a hotel background. It looks like to me. So I'm gonna do a van here for a second and talk about TCU, okay? Because TCU's playing at BYU.
Good game.
PFF has them as a top 25 team according to the power rankings, even though they're 6-3 and they don't have a chance of playing in the Big 12 championship game this week. So BYU is coming off that ass kicking in Lubbock, right? If they're the second best team in the league, they should be able to get over it and handle a team that I don't find to be especially dynamic or disciplined or anything. Like TCU has two great wideouts, Eric McAllister and Jordan Tyson, I think is his name.
Dwyer.
Jordan Dwyer, that's right. Dwyer.
Trust me, I'll never forget that name.
That's right. Jordan
From
Tyson
Puyallup, where
is
my
our boy
girlfriend's
at
from.
Arizona State. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So I'm very frustrated with my Frogs, and I've been having a debate with some of my friends that cover sports in that part of the country about like what is a reasonable expectation for TCU. I don't think it's crazy to think that they should be in the top quadrant of the Big 12. They're sitting in the best recruiting ground in the whole damn conference, and they're already out of it in early November. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not saying that means we need to fire Sonny Dykes, because who the hell we gonna get right now, right? Like, I don't know, who's out there for us or whatever, but I'm just very frustrated that the people are like, oh well, man, everybody can't be good. Everybody, I mean, goddamn, man. I mean, BYU's also I'm supposed to accept that BYU is better than us. Yeah. I just don't want to do that. That does not feel good to me. And if we're going to do this thing, let's go ahead and do it. So this would be a really good time for TCU to step up. BYU is reeling. They got embarrassed last week. You know what I'm saying? They get a chance to regroup at home, but like, this is an opportunity for TCU to show who they really are, if they're as good as these ratings say that they are. So yeah, let's see, step up. Do something out there in Provo, Frogs. Let's see something.
Freaky Frogs. The freaky Frogs, Texas A&M. I don't know why I said that, Texas A&M.
What happened?
I glitched out. It happens. My favorite of the matchup is by far Florida versus Ole Miss.
Oh,
Florida remains
the Lane Kiffin Bowl.
the Lane Kiffin Bowl. Florida remains a team that has guys on the team that can play, right? Ole Miss is a team that is a very good team, but we still have questions. They're still answering questions. And halfway of the reason that I think that Lane Kiffin was talking the way he was about the top of the conference is because maybe this game has him a little nervous. Maybe he's a little nervous. Now, I think this is an Ole Miss dub. I think they're going to eat the dub. But at the same time, this is going to be a game with a lot of talent on the field, and I want to see how the Ole Miss Rebels respond and whether or not Florida is still playing hard with their season being squarely in hell like LSU's.
Well, they look like they let go of the ghost last week up against Kentucky. I mean, that was like, it was like, all right, it's like, you know, playing hard and all that shit was cool, but now it's like, all right, what are we?
Now we're in the portal.
Yeah, what we playing for now?
Yeah, but I still think that there's some spark there. I think you're going to get a spirited effort for him. I'd be surprised if this game was a massacre.
Also, their interim coach got asked about Lane Kiffin's fit in Gainesville. So I feel like that might be something that could be used as bulletin board material during his press conference. Some other notable games that are out there. Clemson at number 19, Louisville. That's on Friday. ACC Freaky Fridays have been interesting to say the least. I did want to ask you guys, how many minutes, seconds did you watch of Clemson, Florida State last weekend? Do you even know the score of that game?
It was 24-10, right?
Yeah, 24-10. Clemson won that game. Good job by you, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
I watched.
I forgot
watched
that
a
it
little
happened.
bit of it. I watched a little bit of it, but it is
Should have been
just
one of the best games of the season in the ACC.
I mean,
And
you
one of
talking
the
about
biggest,
people in
yeah.
hell. I mean, Florida State, man. I mean, you know what I mean? Like they
in
got
hell.
set. I mean, the thing is, it really was hurtful because they got set up for such a big fall. Like they should not. Like they had no business beating Alabama, and it happened. And then they've been spending all year like, well, damn, man, like Alabama's up here. What happened to us? But it was like, no, you guys were just never as good as it seemed like you were in that first week of the season. But so yeah, that was a pretty bad showing, man. I mean, they made it seem like Dabo had his little, you know, his groove back or something, you know.
Yeah, it was a good night for Dabo. We got number 25 USF at Navy. Salute to service. Maybe Navy can make some noise and ruin USF's chances to make the playoffs. We got Arizona at number 22 Cincinnati. We got number 20 Virginia at Duke. NC State at number 16 Miami. Yeah. Watch out for NC State. They already kind of ruined Georgia Tech's run. They might do the same thing to Miami.
Is that your boy Smothers? Is that a Hollywood Smothers? Yeah.
Hollywood might be up to something.
Smothers.
He'll be at LSU next year when Van, cuts the check for him. We got Maryland at Illinois, Wisconsin at number 2 Indiana, App State at James Madison. Okay. That's kind of like an old Cinderella versus a new Cinderella. That'll be a fun game. Yeah, number 13 Utah at Baylor, and then Boise State at San Diego State. Watch out for the Aztecs. They are circling as well as a team that could be that G5 spot. So San Diego State, another team to keep an eye on. Van, I'll throw it to you now. Big Van on campus. What's on your mind?
Watch out for the Aztecs. That's pretty sick. That was Cortez, man. Watch out for the Aztecs. Look, you guys, something happened. It was at a SWAC game. It was a fight.
Oh, no.
And it was a fight between Grambling and Bethune-Cookman. Now, Grambling was able to win this game after Bethune-Cookman was talking a lot of shit before the game kicked off, right? They were talking a lot of stuff on old social media. But the game was up there in Ruston, Louisiana, Grambling, Louisiana, and Grambling was able to win the game. But that's not the most important thing that happened. The most important thing that happened was a fight. Now, look, a lot of people would say that, Van, you shouldn't be highlighting a fight at an HBCU game because I don't give a fuck about that. I'll tell you right now. Because young men fight no matter who they are, and there's fights at all levels and all conferences and all of that. And this is no different than any other fight. That's why we're going to score this fight. Okay. We're going to run the video below here. There are two different angles of this video. The question is not who won this game. The question is who won this fight. In order to score this fight, we're going to use the boxing system, which is a 10-point must system. Every single boxing round is scored with the winner getting 10 points, right? So it's like 10-9, 10-8, 10-7 based on knockdowns. All right, the first fight is number 23 for Grambling versus number 11 for Bethune-Cookman. This is a very clear victory. Look at 23. 23's got his hands up. He's got his set up. He's ready to go. And then he does something that some of my G's out here in California called turning down the fade. Ooh. He turned that fade down. You can't do all of this, 23, and then not do anything. You got to go get it in blood, as the kids say. Ooh. You want to go get, that's not what he does. He turns down the fade. He turns down the fade. That is a forfeit, 10-9 for Bethune-Cookman. Then they try to crowd. Oh, my God. Number 39 for Grambling gets in one shot on number 11 for Bethune-Cookman. Then he's got two compadres that run in as well. Look at what is happening. I give number 11 for Bethune-Cookman so much credit because he did two things. He stalemated the oncoming rush. Then he turns around and knocks somebody down.
Yeah, that's a dog right there, bro.
That's a dog. That's a 10-8 round.
I love that, Coach him.
That's a 10.
That's a 10-8 round for Bethune-Cookman.
Ooh, look at 11. Ooh, boy. All right,
Graham, where you at? There's an alternate view of this fight. An alternate view of the fight shows something very disturbing. It's nothing to do with the fight that's happening on the field. An alternate view of the fight shows something that I cannot abide by, and that's the Grambling band. The Grambling band is watching this happen, and they're not playing anything at all.
Oh, we need a soundtrack. We need a score.
They didn't
we need a
play
score.
nothing. I cannot believe that this happened to Graham. They didn't play nothing. They should have been playing something. They should have been playing that fight night. If you know me, you know it. But they should have had something ready to go. As soon as this fight is
by
jumping
DJ
off.
Unk.
Yeah.
That'd have been a good one.
Tate, what?
Yeah.
Tate. Okay. Yo, what the fuck is going on? So they're playing nothing. I'ma score that for Bethune-Cookman. That's a 10-9. That's unacceptable. They are at home. They people is fighting. They supposed to be playing something. Man, play that old Thuggish Ruggish Bone. Play something. Play something while this fight is going on.
What about Sticky by Tyler, the Creator? That'd be nice too, you know?
Sticky!
Yeah, it's getting sticky. Yeah.
Play something. They played nothing. I watched on the field Bethune-Cookman take one guy and go up against everybody like he was fucking Jon Snow. Then I watched Grambling turn down the fade. Then I watched the Grambling band not play anything. BC fucked Grambling up. The final score of this fight is 30-26 Bethune-Cookman. They lost on the field, but they left North Louisiana with Grambling's nuts. And that's what you get when you put your faith in Grambling. When you put your faith in Grambling, what you get is disappointment because Grambling is the type of school that will disappoint you time and again. Grambling will lose cultural battles and football battles and all of that. The Southern Grambling, all right?
The Southern University partisan came out. I knew, man, because you didn't give them no props whatsoever. They had some of them boys handling business out there, man. I don't think, and also, I will also say, man, Grambling was at the center of one of the best fights I've ever seen. It was Grambling versus the Prairie View Band. For people that remember, in 1998, them boys were swinging tubas. You know what I'm saying? Like and Grambling, man, they've had their fair share of fights. I don't think you being fair to them because them boys show up for these fights, dog. Look at them.
You're trying to tell me 98. What are you saying about them? They're saying that they're a bunch of violent. Are you saying that they're violent? Is that what you're saying there? Are you saying that they're a bunch of
Joel's saying he
violent?
thinks they won the fight.
I don't think anything happened that was embarrassing. Man, they have to get. Did you say the Mickey Joseph? The coach of Grambling after the fight had been like, well, man, that was Bethune-Cookman's fault and they were in the way on the thing. And then he had to apologize later because it was like, it sounded like he was condoning basically the Grambling that got into a fight. And it was like, oh, maybe that's not exactly what you want to do. It's really sad because Grambling has just been struggling to like find its place in the world. And they had Hugh, Hugh Jackson that was the head coach.
Yeah,
for a little bit.
Cincinnati. From Cleveland.
Cincinnati.
Cleveland to Cincinnati, one of those. Yeah, he had him for
I think he's like at Georgia Southern now. He's like an OC.
I just feel
it
like
don't matter who Grambling have, they Grambling. And that's
show some respect for Eddie Robinson, man. Show some respect for Eddie Robinson.
I respect Eddie Robinson. Don't know. Hold on now.
The great. You know what I'm saying?
respect Eddie Robinson. It's some Baton Rouge in there. I respect Eddie Robinson, right? But the problem with Grambling is that they got their asses whipped. Shout out to Bethune-Cookman, all right? You didn't win on the field, but when it was time to knuckle up, man, number 11 for Bethune-Cookman, man, shout out to him. He threw a couple of Tigers around, and that's what the fuck I'm talking about. I can't wait for a couple of weeks. I'm gonna be in Louisiana. I can't wait for a couple of weeks, man. I can't wait for the Bayou Classic. I'm telling you right now, Southern gonna shock the world. I'm gonna be there. Southern gonna shock the world in the Bayou Classic. When Grambling walks into the Superdome, they're just gonna be under the weight of all the tradition of getting their asses kicked. All right? Quincy Richard. You know what the fuck I'm talking about? Like that, the people like that, nigga, don't get me started. Like, they are just gonna be under the foot of the Southern University tradition. Don't get me started on this goddamn Southern University shit, bro.
Isaiah Washburn, defensive end. 6'1", 230, red shirt junior, you know. He played at Mercer for his first 3 seasons.
Isaiah Washburn washed the entire Grambling squad. Shout out to Washburn. Put it there, right? Watch how Isaiah Washburn took on the whole Grambling team and sent them back to the Piney Woods, sent them back to Drew Hall, a place up there at Grambling that's not a livable dorm.
Man, dog. Come on, man. Man, Grambling, man. You remember when they boycotted? When they were like, man, this shit's too, this you know, all our shit is too fucked up for us to keep playing like this. Yeah. And they had to do it, man. And I went up there, man. And I took my mom. You know, my mom is from West Monroe, Louisiana originally. So I took her up there to go part of visiting family. And we were driving around the Grambling campus, and we driving out on that little road back to the highway, back to 20. And I look at my mom and she's crying. And she's like, I'm just so sorry for, you know, how these kids have to
that's fucked up, Joe. That's too far.
I was like, man,
see,
Mom?
not even. I was just being a playful Southernite.
Oh man, my bad. Well, my mom felt bad.
Joe just said,
Joe cut deep.
Joe just said, y'all shit is so fucked up. It made a black woman cry.
My mom, man.
Damn.
My mom is a UAPB. Hey, look, my mom is a UAPB grad. Okay, or UAPB student. They have no right. They have no right.
It's tough. Just like you know, it's tough sledding in the SWAC. We do our best.
They're doing the best they can, bro.
But yeah, so shout out to Bethune-Cookman for putting Grambling back in their place, and Southern going to do it again in a couple of weeks.
Isaiah Washburn.
When we see a fight around here, somebody fighting, somebody going against all the odds, you know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of Tigers at your doorstep. You know what I'm saying? Grambling Tigers, not LSU Tigers. They'd have fucked them up. But when we fight like Isaiah Washburn, nigga,
from Clearwater, Florida, man. Clearwater ain't no joke neither, man.
Clearwater.
Clearwater ain't no joke, man. It's on the water, but don't
Hulk Hogan from Clearwater. Actually, take that out. I'll fuck him. But yeah, like Washburn.
Love that. Big fan on campus. Yeah, shout out. You know, I like the play-by-play. I like the scoring. Let's bring in Billy Gill. Billy Gill's going to do our last call. He's got some thoughts from a hotel room in Minnesota. Is that correct, Billy?
Yeah, I'm in Minnesota this week.
I was right. Okay, man. My bad. Yeah, there you go. I can tell you a hotel.
Joel knew that you were in
Billy,
a
you up
room.
there for the Zach Lowe show?
Yeah, that and scouting the Gophers, Drake Lindsay, you know, do some work.
Drake Lindsay, 6'5", 240. You know what I'm saying? You gonna go check him out?
Have you guys ever been here to Minnesota, by the way?
I have.
Several times.
It's a weird place, right? It's nice, but it's weird.
I was there during a polar vortex back in 2019. It was like minus 15 degrees, and I thought I was going to die. Then I went back for the Final Four, and it was super nice. So I've seen like the worst version and the good version.
They have like tunnels, or bridges connecting the buildings.
Skyways.
Yeah, you don't even walk outside. When I got off the airplane, the first thing I see, you know, like those like pamphlets or whatever, they have a place called Paul Bunyan Land, where you can go, and it's the world's largest talking animated man, and it looks like a Lincoln Memorial of Paul Bunyan that I guess talks to children.
Oh man!
What do you mean he talks? He's animated, or he's a talking statue?
He's an animatronic. It says.
Yeah,
kind of like
he's
a
a Chuck
Showbiz
E.
Pizza
Cheese
or whatever. Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me look this shit up.
So what does he say? Does he impart wisdom, or does he like talk shit? Like you guys are small.
He's gonna go. He's gonna go and find out.
I don't know. If I've learned anything on this show, it's that things in the times of Paul Bunyan probably we don't want to hear from him. You know, like I don't know what Paul Bunyan's telling these kids, but we should stay away from him. How do we feel like the show went today?
Van, how do you feel about it?
This wasn't a great one, but look, it's okay because we're at like that little halfway point in college football, and we talked about a lot of other stuff, and I forgot some things that I'd said earlier in the season, but you know what it was, Billy? It was we had fun. As far as I would say, I would score it like this. I would say on college football analysis, probably like a 4, but on hanging out with your boys, fun, I'm going to go 11, man.
Oh, wow.
All right.
You meet the middle. That's a nice 7.
I feel like it went pretty good. I mean, these are the takeaways that I took today. I feel like Van loves...
Is this what you're going to be doing? Is this
I don't
your
know
thing?
what I'm going to be doing, to be honest
Can you
with you. Just jotting down notes today, to be honest with you. I'm not sure what this is.
Let him do his thing, Joe.
We're kind of just figuring it out.
Billy.
Yeah. I did this thing a couple weeks ago where I bought this. This isn't here nor there, but I bought this this ESPN college football encyclopedia that I told Tate about, and I brought it with me, which was an idiotic decision because it weighs like 15 pounds. So it's this giant.
This is our off
encyclopedia.
season right here.
Yeah. So I thought that this was a good idea, but I didn't look into this book very much, and I realized this ends after the 2004 season. So I can't give you like a ton of present information, but if you need to know like all-time records between like 1860 and 2004 for any team, I got you. Also,
Can't wait.
here's the thing about this. This book also is problematic because the first endorser at the top of the book up here is Joe Paterno telling you how great this book is. Yeah.
Oh, Joe.
So, what are we doing?
Different time, man.
I bought 2 problematic football books in the recent future. I'll just tell you about this one today. The next one I can say when I get back home. But Joe Paterno says that this is a great resource that we can use at some point if you want to get to it. Now, here are today's takeaways. Van, I think, loves Joel's dad more than Joel because he respects him for his service. He wants to send him food.
Whoa.
He wants to make him a podiatrist appointment. And
Hey, man. Look,
Joel's
you know
not
what?
doing any of that.
Hey, let's talk about that.
Got to get
That's
his
real
feet
love.
right, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I learned that Tate's a disappointment to his family. He has multiple war heroes.
Wow.
100%.
Podcaster, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like you could be doing more for the
they have no sympathy for this lifestyle.
Yeah. Joel also seems like he's trying to get us sued by Brian Kelly, implying that he might be on lists that have been put out there lately.
Just can't
Seems
say that.
Very reckless.
Van
put this rumor.
When in doubt, just say it.
When in
That's
doubt.
not.
I mean, he's like, oh, it's really bad.
I
It's
talked
really
about
bad.
things that had directly been reported to me. You made up some whole other shit. Just literally can't say that,
Bro, but I mean, you were just saying, like, I mean, you said some bad things. I'm like, well, how bad could it be? Was it James Tallarico bad, or was it,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the list, but anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we know which list you're talking about. But here's like a positive column for Joel.
Okay.
You can't just be a bad week
Thank
for
God.
Joel. Joel?
Yeah.
Joel knows how to ride some dick. We learned that today.
That's not. Come on, man. Is it gonna be like this? Is it gonna be like this?
What do you mean?
Every show's different, Joel. Every
Is
show's
this what it's
different.
gonna be like? All right. Okay.
Also, Van's trying to end your marriage, I guess.
Oh,
saying
my
that
God.
you should be out hunting and
Joel,
not paying
Joel,
attention to your children. We just want to love your kids.
How did this happen? How did I become this? How did I used to be respected? Was I? I don't know actually.
Oh my God.
That was great.
And just for clarity, I do not know how to ride.
See, wait, why
Okay,
you have to go back to it? It's obviously a joke.
I may have
Deny.
some ideas on how it's supposed to go, but that don't mean
What's wrong with that?
See what I'm saying?
Because I know how to
Thank
ride
you.
it.
Thank you, Billy.
What's
it's
wrong with that,
obviously
Joel?
a joke.
Yeah.
And Joe, look how uncomfortable Joe gets. Look at Joe, man.
Well, my
Joe,
eyes are watering
fix
today
yourself.
just because some other stuff, but
Oh,
Oh shit. Okay.
you okay?
Yeah.
Everything all right?
Before we go, I want to say something,
don't know.
Billy. I am looking at a blog right now of Paul Bunyan Land that is done by In the Loop, which is a channel on YouTube. This is the creepiest fucking place that has ever existed. I'm watching Paul Bunyan talk to people. It's a big fucking field with everything is like large sized. because it's supposed to be for Paul Bunyan. Billy, you gotta go to Paul Bunyan land and report back, bro. You gotta go. This shit looks crazy right now. With the shit that's going on.
We can all go. There's a full hookup for RVs and tents. We could go camping there one day, guys, if you want.
Hey, are you going to go to Mall of America? Have you ever been there?
I did go there. Have you been there?
No, I haven't. I've been there. Like
I've been there.
It's kind of a crazy place. So here's the other.
They have a roller coaster in there.
They have like 4 roller coasters in there. They have like a full theme park in the middle, and they also have a rainforest cafe, which I did not expect to see in Minnesota. Yeah, there's a rainforest cafe. Lovely lunch there today. A little slow the service, if I'm going to be honest with you. And like the strangest location I think on earth for Margaritaville, because I don't think Jimmy Buffett was ever envisioning Minneapolis when he was writing his songs.
I tell you what, Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, one of my favorite places.
It's a good spot.
I love to go there. I love
the one
to
in
go
Myrtle
there.
Beach is a hit. I mean,
They got
The
one
one
in
in
Bossier
Vegas.
City, man, that I've been wanting to go to.
I went there back in the day. This kid was playing from Delaware. He was on. This was back in the day. He was playing. He was in college. He was playing for Delaware. It was the 1AA playoffs. He was fucking everybody up. I was like, who is this big fucking kid from Delaware? They look like they got the Michigan Wolverines. So it's like, who is this big fucking kid from Delaware that looks like he shouldn't? And this guy goes, hey, this kid, he's a transfer. His name's Joe Flacco. Sure. He's Joe Flacco's from Delaware. Well, fuck y'all. That was a good story. Fuck y'all.
That was a good story.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, 8 out of 10.
You great on the curve, but that's cool because it has to be. You have to be on my head today, I guess.
What do you mean?
It was just saying. This is how being.
I gave you props.
Joel, that was the plus column. Okay.
Yeah,
Joel, stop being salty, Joel.
I'm just saying.
You're a man that over the course of your life has acquired.
Like now? Okay.
Good doc recommendations too. If you have any foot problems, call Joel.
Hey man,
Joel.
hey. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that.
Tate, please end the show.
Yeah.
I love it. What a great time. Billy Gill, great first appearance here. Many more in the future. And also, we're going to go back to that encyclopedia, as Billy promised, because there's got to be some gold in there. Just some great stories. And it's obviously been endorsed by some big-time characters back in college football's past. So we'll talk about all that in the future. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, we're going to be a little bit later on Saturday. Ringer Tailgate. We'll be live. Come hang out with us. And I hope everybody has a great day, and we will talk to you on Saturday. Must be 21 or older and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 27 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.